Hi guys, it's Ashwin. How's everyone doing? Good. I hope Christmas is truly starting in my house. I'm actually partying today and I thought, why not do a video? So I'm a little bit tipsy. Only a little bit though. So I wanted to do a video all about leather. 10 leather fragrances. This isn't a top 10 video. This is 10 examples of leather in fragrance. And I wanted to do it as a not top 10 because leather is so vast. It's a really vast thing that happens in fragrances, and sometimes it can be in fragrances where it's a very obvious feeling, where it actually smells like leather jacket or leather boots, or it can be something that's more in the realm of suede, like a soft, cozy kind of leather. And then some fragrances feature ingredients or notes that are used in leather making, so it's the idea of leather. If that makes any sense at all. I know, this is going to be fun. Yay. I was dancing around like a crazy person just before I pressed record. Hopefully this list will give you an idea of what leather is in fragrances, because people don't distill leather jackets. There's not a factory somewhere where they've got all of these leather boots and jackets from, you know, bikers and, you know, the 80s, where they're just distilling leather jackets. It's a thing. Usually it's an accord. Usually it's a combination of birch tar and other materials that I can't remember. I learned it on my course, don't judge. But yeah, perfumers made this accord which smelled like leather, and it was a discovery. That's a discovery, right? So the first one on the list is a real fun one. It's a fragrance that I work with every day and I show it to people every day. It's called Metal Hurlant. I'm not going to be good at pronouncing the French, but apparently, according to my French colleague, it means metal shout. I don't know, it doesn't really make any sense to me, but shouting metal. It's by Pierre Guillaume and it's inspired by Harley Davidson's Route 66, leather, gasoline, and it's a really cool one. It's kind of like a smoky metallic leather fragrance. And what I've learned starting my job a year ago with leather in particular is a lot of, depending on which country we're talking about, different countries used different ingredients or materials to treat leather. So the Russians used birch tar to preserve it, like a more smoky Russian leather. The Spanish used orange blossom, I think, and the French used iris. I think it's probably the most expensive way to preserve leather. Yeah, it's weird, it's metallic, it's a little bit smoky, it's a little bit gasoline-y, it's a really good fun one. And it's unconventional, and I really like it. So that's number 10 on the list. The next one on the list is called Suede Osmanth. It's by Parfumerie Generale, and it's number 5.1. This is one of the lightest, I guess, interpretations of leather that I've smelled. Osmanthus, while not used in leather making, as far as I know, can give off a leathery feeling. Tropical flowers don't usually smell like flowers, from what you might think. They're normally more fruity, and Suede Osmanth is a really light, almost laundry-like fragrance. It's very beautiful actually. I really like it. I should wear it more often. And it's leathery because, like I said, Osmanthus has very light leathery nuances. Don't think about huge leather jackets and bikers and boots just yet. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it's lovely. It's a really nice one and I really like it. And it would be placed in the suede part of it. I mean, it's called Suede Osmanth. Go figure. The next one's a little tricky trickster. And I wanted to put it on this list because it encompasses quite a lot of different things as a fragrance. It's Marquis de Sade, or Marquis de Sade by Atelier d'Orange. Marquis de Sade, the background story is crazy. Obviously, he's the guy that was sadistic and bondage and all of that kind of stuff. But the main note of it is labdanum. It's basically a single noted fragrance, but labdanum is so tricky and versatile, I would say, that sometimes it's ambery. I mean, it's used in the amber accord. Sometimes it smells like incense, but it also feels leathery as well. But a soft, smooth, leathery, sweet, gorgeous, and a little bit naughty kind of smelling note. And Marquis de Sade by Atelier d'Orange features pretty much labdanum. It's such a beautiful thing. When I did my course and I was discovering single notes, labdanum is one of the things that I said, I want to wear this on its own. It's that good. And it's a weird one. It's like, it's rock rose, okay? It's like a tiny little shrub. And they used to get the resin from goats' beards. They used to come and eat the shrub, and the resin would go onto their beards. But anyway, they extract it differently now. But yeah, that's a really good leathery one because it spans a lot of different pies of the fragrance wheel. The next one on the list is a huge favourite of mine, actually. It's something that I'm looking to get into my collection as soon as I can. And it's The Cobra and the Canary by Imaginary Authors. Great story behind it, which I won't bore you with right now, but the fragrance features a lot of leather because it's about two guys that go on a debaucherous journey heading for a racetrack in a vintage car. There's tobacco flowers in here. There is a fantasy note of asphalt, and I really love this one. I need to get it. I need to get this one. Stat. I would call it a leather fragrance that you can notice that it's leathery. You know, it's not an abstract leathery feeling. It actually feels like leather. But there's a lot of other facets going on as well, and I've worn it, well, a lot of times I've worn it, and I've only ever smelled it on one person ever, and it was someone in central London when I was in a supermarket buying my lunch, and it made me realise on a person it smells way sexy, so yeah, I want to get that one. Give it to me! The next one on the list is a hugely popular fragrance. It's called Midnight in Paris, and it's by Van Cleef and Arpels. I used to own this fragrance, but I did sell it on. I didn't even sell it on. I think I just gave it away to someone. I was blinded by the beautiful bottle. It's a real smooth, kind of ambery leather, this one. Amber and leather sometimes go hand in hand, or they definitely blend very well together. And this one was a very resinous leather, smooth, almost like the whiff of a leather jacket on the air, or even more suede-y. Maybe not as powdery as suede, but it was a really smooth, lovely one, and I don't know, I didn't get on with it, but I really liked it, and the bottle was gorgeous. I should have kept the bottle just for display purposes. Who am I kidding? I throw away bottles all the time. Don't judge. Shalimar! Shalimar, one of the greatest legendary fragrances that exist on the planet. Been around since 1928, and still, from what I know, sells thousands and thousands of bottles every day. Do you reckon it's every day? I don't know, it's a lot, because Shalimar has been around for a long time. It's essentially an amber fragrance. It's very ambery, it's fluffy, it's vanilla, it's cute, it's like a cloud, but there is a very obvious leathery note to this fragrance, and I think a lot of people put it into the vanilla category before they put it into the leather category. The vanilla-y, amber, powder, lemon, animalic civet thing always overtakes the leather in my brain, but when you actually sit down with Shalimar for a while, and I've sat down, we've had a couple of chats, we've had a good chat, me and Shalimar, we get on. There is a big leather note in there, and it's kind of a juxtaposed leather with all of this fluffy, powdery vanilla, and that's what makes Shalimar edgy and awesome, and I think one of the best fragrances ever made. And it was an accident as well. Who'd have thunk? The next one is one that I reviewed recently, actually. It's Bulgari Black. I'm not sure if it's discontinued or not. I thought it was, but then I kept seeing it for sale everywhere online. I've never seen it in a shop, but anyway, this was, or is, still a massive leather. This is going towards the kind of, I guess you would say, Russian leather. It's really smoky. It's very sweet at the same time. There's a massive vanilla note in here, but this is more fiery leather jacket territory we're going into. Boots, you know, not even leather sofa. I have a leather sofa. It doesn't smell like that, but this is going into the more intense level of leather. It's an interesting fragrance because designer fragrances or designer companies don't smell like this usually, and it's held in quite high regard for a good reason, and that's why I chose to review it. I wanted to get to know what this thing was, it's kind of like a burnt rubber, tyres, leathery fragrance, which is yummy, so maybe try it out. The next one's a super niche fragrance. There is a lady called Naomi Goodsir from Australia who is a taxidermist and fashion designer, and she has 5 fragrances. She's not the perfumer, but she is the curator. She works with really good perfumers to bring her visions to life. And Kir Velour is such a good representation of suede in a fragrance. There's tobacco in it as well. I think there's a bit of ginger, and there's a lot of immortelle, which is everlasting flower, which is one of my least, well, it's actually probably my least favourite note ever, but it's placed very well in here. This is one of the smoothest, sultry, suede cushion type smell fragrances. It's very elegant, kind of abstract, but still wearable. And I wanted it on the list because there's not many fragrances that can do the suede thing as well. Imagine the smell of the touch of suede. That's kind of what it smells like. Yeah, moving on. So the last 2 on the list are both what I would call hyper leathers. Intense, crazy, super out there and obnoxious in the best way leathers where you know you're gonna smell like leather. Dirty, crazy, amazing leathers. The first one is Rhino by Zoologist. This is one of the most intense leather fragrances I've ever smelled, apart from the next one I'm going to tell you about. It's, I guess, representative of the hide of a rhinoceros. It's a hulking animal, it's a beast. And this fragrance is super leather, you know, like an obvious leather. When you smell it, you smell leather, boots, jacket, just no soft elements going on here at all, and they ramp up the intensity with things like pine, rum, patchouli, vetiver. There is a lot of crazy stuff going on in this one, and it's amazing. I love it. So on to the last one, which I think is probably the most out there leather I've ever smelled. It's Rien. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm so bad. I have a bottle of it and it's not an everyday thing. This is leather. This is a super unforgiving fragrance. It's really interesting because Italie Bout d'Orange have paired it together with aldehydes, which make it feel the dirtiest leather you can imagine, but then a sparkly, clean element as well. There is aldehydes in here which make it feel sparkle and almost like if you washed a leather jacket in some kind of crazy laundry. I don't know, it's oh, hello. It's a really, really cool one. It starts out sparkly aldehyde-y, but then when it dries, it goes really incense leather, and it's kind of the fragrance I live for. It's just nuts, really. And you don't need a lot of it. It's one of the strongest things in my collection, and I love that. I love strong things. So it's not for the faint-hearted at all, but it's definitely worth mentioning because it's really, really cool. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. I'm going to carry on partying now. I'm having party of one in my living room. It's the most fun ever. But I thought I'd sit down and do a video for you guys. I think I'm going to probably have one more video before Christmas, and it's going to be a thank you video. So no more reviews until next year. Next year sounds so weird. It's literally like a week away, but I'm going to have a little bit of downtime before I start reviewing in January. I hope you all have a lovely Christmas, and I will do a thank you video soon. Okay, bye.